Hey everybody, this is This for the Stood on Gaming. We're doing a little bit of double duty today with recordings. We're going to do the Modern Challenge, this time with Boros Burn. Last week we tried Dredge, it didn't go too terribly well. The build we're using is the build that I've been working with lately. Got the Direfleet Daredevils on the sideboard as opposed to the core Firewalkers. Beyond that, it's just a pretty typical Boros build. 3 Rest in Peace, 2 Path, 2 Stirring Blaze, 2 Skullcrack, 2 Direfleet Daredevil, 2 Exquisite Firecraft, 2 Wear Tear. And then kind of the standard de facto Boros list without the green splash. So that's what we'll be working with today, hopefully for 8 rounds, if things go well. So I think last week we had 100, yep, up to 161, so I think roughly the same amount as last week, 162. So we also have Badler's Mono Red Phoenix list to get through some matches with in a competitive league that he donated for, so I'll be doing that. Wish I could do it in full video format, but given the fact that we'll be playing in the challenge, I won't have time to sit down and just like, unless we wash out early, I won't have time to sit down and play the whole league in one sitting. So this is a pretty easy mulligan. Once again, the London Mulligan rule is in effect. Keep this hand, and what am I pitching? Always pitch land to make it a real interesting game. I feel like one of the Skewer the Critics is going to be the hardest card to use well. Good old Tron. Yeah, whatever. Doesn't matter, friend. I guess it does from the standpoint of turning Grim Lavamancer off, but Tron is certainly a deck that got a lot better with the London Mulligan rule. Alright, sure. So if Eidolon's ever going to be good, it's going to be here, but there's a decent chance they just have like natural Tron or something. Third Tron piece. So if we draw a land, even if they have Warm Coil Engine, they're dead. So you're just dead, gotcha. Alright, got there in game 1 against Tron, which is good, because Tron matchup against us gets much better after sideboard. Tron. So up against Terminal Justice. They have no recent finishes with the deck, but there's a lot of Tron last week in the Modern Challenge, wasn't there? Alright, so Tron, bring in the Path to Exiles for Warm Coil Engine, bring in the Wear Tears, bring in the Skull Cracks, go down Eidolons, go down Grim Lavamancer, go down Searing Blazes. So which one cards do we want to bring back in? Nope, nope, nope. I guess we bring back in Eidolons. This hand's okay. Like, I would love this path not to be a path right now. Like for burn spell, top deck it later. Drawing their mountain here is not good for us. So they basically have guaranteed turn 3 Tron here. Yep, unsurprisingly, they have Worm Coil. We have Path, which helps, but if they have any kind of follow-ups, we're in a bit of trouble here. You get nothing. Alright, on to game number 3. First one will actually be on the play in this matchup. Try like that. Tron matchup tends to be pretty brutally quick. One way or the other. See how this goes. So, love to play first. No lands, got a mulligan. One land, keep, get rid of. Really do need another land soon, though. this is a swag tusk, we're pretty much dead. Come on, deck, cough up a land next turn, would you please? So their hand is... The cards we know about, it's 2 Sylvan Scryings, an Ancient Stirrings. Doesn't seem like they have a Thrag Tusk, because they probably would have slammed that. You guys obviously can't hear, but my heart is beating a mile a minute in these matchups. Okay. Sure. So, 1... Karn taking our land would be pretty brutal, too. Ulamog. Alright, that's not relevant this turn, I don't think. So 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 would be the maximum they'd have. 3, 6. Excuse me. It's kind of funny, I think the third game is going to take longer than the rest of the match and the intro into the match combined. So we know 3 of the 6 cards still. What you got over there, friend? Please don't hit a Thragtusk. God bless America. Here comes Ulamog. So annoying. Alright, that was a very disappointing ending to our first match against Tron, which is usually a pretty favorable matchup, but it happens sometimes. They cycled into the correct card at the right time, otherwise they were, I guess they were just dead on board if they didn't have anything else to present that turn. So, because that third Goblin guy would have been lethal, but they ran into the Thragtusk, so sometimes you lose that way. This has been Dust for the Stood On Game with match number 1 here in the Modern Challenge with Boros Burn. Hey everybody, this is Dust for the Stood On Gaming with preparing for match number 2 of the Modern Challenge here with Boros Burn. That's the Phoenix deck we're playing in a competitive league right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, I think we definitely keep this hand. Mulligan's to 5. Or if this means it's Dredge or Tron. Mulligan's to 4. Feeling that this London Mulligan rule goes into effect permanently, we're going to see a little bit of a shift in the modern meta. Freaking Bogles, seriously? Looks like it might be Prison instead. Which means basically all of our burn spells are pretty well dead here. All the dumb luck to have kept this is insane. Now we're just giving them cards to discard. This is kind of the luck I had at the big tournament up in Streetsboro, was just like one matchup wasn't good and one matchup was just kind of obnoxious like this. Oh, the dumb luck that they kept a ley line of sanctity and it happened to be good against the deck they were playing against. Let's move on. So, wear tears come in, dire fleets come in, searing blazes can go out. Beyond that, I mean, what a day. You gotta keep this in. Of course, they have a ley line on the battlefield. Not unexpected. Card on bottom. We're gonna draw lands, probably one of our better draws. Ruined Halo, also annoying. Goblin God? Monster Swift Spear. Alright, sure. Like I said, they might have prematurely played that Ruined Halo. We'll see. Unless they have another one, which looks like they do. So in my past, Sphere of Safety unfortunately will lock us out, so So in my past 2, 4... So in my past 9 matches with Burn, I've played against Enchantment Prison twice. Yep. Alright, well that was fun. Anyways, we're off to a 0-2 start in this modern challenge. This has been Dust for Dustin on Gaming. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dustin on Gaming, getting ready for match number 3 here in the modern challenge. Haven't gotten off to the best start here. We've played against Tron. Tron was a weird matchup this particular go-round. I don't know if the new Mulligan rules are helping him that much, or what's going on, but they managed to top deck a Thraggle Tusk on the last possible turn when we were stuck on 1 land. We had a couple Goblin Guides going, they were down to 4, that put them back up to 9, and they untapped an Ulamogdus, Ulamogdus. And then match number 2, I put up Mulligan to 4, which seemed like a good thing, and then they immediately played Leyline of Sanctity. And it was the mono-white Enduring Ideal Prison deck, which is, I would say my new least favorite matchup for Burn. Main deck Leyline of Sanctity, main deck ways to lock out creatures. Pretty inconsistent deck, but with the new Mulligan rules and such, probably pretty reasonable. So, we're back for match number 3 here. Yeah, stands pretty good. Searing Blade is usually a pretty dead card in this matchup. Our opponent here playing against a white splash of Valakut. So, wouldn't be surprised if they have ley lines on the sideboard as well. Alright, here we go. Pass turn here. Hope our opponent doesn't, feels like they're just going to tighten us, which is fine. Probably kill both of our creatures here. Kind of fibbing to our opponent. I feel bad for fibbing a little bit, but not too much. I'm gonna bring in Wear Tears just in case they have ley lines. No reason not to play around it. Searing Blazes are pretty garbage in this matchup. Grim's not great. Alright, so these other cards, which one's the most reasonable? Grim could be fun, but they're going to have a lot of anti-creature stuff. Direfleet might be okay here. Just as like a one of. Why did I just submit a 62 card deck? We can't keep this hand in this matchup. This hand isn't great either, but Complimenting my opponent on their play there for immediately sacking this curved tri-builder to play around. Alright, see if we can get the win here. It's going to Baloth us here. Not a huge fan of this play, but we gotta play what we gotta play. Wish the collie downstairs would shut up. Put our opponent to 8. Then to chew, guess is the play here. Locks them out of a good bit of their deck, but if they just have landscape shift, we're dead. Alright, so 2-1, or 1-2 so far in our Modern Challenge. We'll be back here in a bit with match number 4. Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust Design Gaming, back with match number 4 here in this Modern Challenge with Boros Burn, with the London Mulligan rule legal. So, playing this more for scientific sake than any hope of prizing at this point. We started out 0-2, so we are, yeah, that's pretty easy mulligan. I guess we keep this hand and pitch, what, Boros turn? great. Looks like we're up against Eldrazi nonsense. Pass turn. See if we get Thought Knotted on 2 or something nonsensical like that. Seriously. I am hugely not a fan of this Mulligan roll. Hate to say it, I am massively not a fan. Now we have the choice of aiming this at Thought-Knot Seer and hoping we draw a spell, or see, max punish there for not aiming that at the Thought-Knot Seer, but there's what, Bolt and Searing Blaze there, which was like our best draws. Or less Serum Powder to kind of ramp them there. Should just cast that Lava Spike. No reason not to. I get hit by a Reality Smasher and hate our lives. Not sure what our opponent's doing over there, don't really care. Path to Exiles. Rare Tears for the stuff. Let's get rid of our Eidolons because they're not great in this matchup. So far, well, granted we've had a very limited scope of matches here to kind of gauge. I had the 5 matches the other night with Blue Eye Control. I've had the 4 matches so far here, and then a couple matches I've played in the Mono Red Phoenix League so far. Seems like the format has opened back up a little bit potentially, but it's brought in some how should I put this nicely? Not very nice things for burn. Great. Selling Eternal Scourge. Alright. Like, I think the decks that were previously extremely consistent, decks like, please just be a Chalice. Nope, looks like a Matter Shaper? Or maybe just Eternal Scourge here. Looks like they're going for the Chalice on. Nope, Spatial Contortion. Alright. Does make it more difficult to survive here. Go ahead and Lava Spike you. Opponent's going to get a Hiss with a Thought Knot Seer on turn 2. Yep. Fair and balanced magic this is. Past our opponent here. Turn 3 Reality Smasher. Get hit for 9. Boros charm them to 6. I mean, we'll play on, but we're pretty well dead here. Actually, we're just dead on board, aren't we? So, alright, so off to a 1-3 start here in the Modern Challenge. We'll continue playing just to see what effects this London Mulligan rule has on the format, but people are definitely trying the crazy brews here. You know, decks that just in the past haven't cut it due to consistency issues. I mean, so far we've played against Tron, Naya, Titan Shift, Enchantment Prison, and Colorless Eldrazi, which kind of coincides with us playing against it in the mono or the blue-white league. So definitely an interesting look at the meta. We'll need some more data here before we go and make any decisions. But it's been a pretty rough start to the Modern Challenge so far. But continue playing on. This has been Dust for Dust on Gaming. Be back in a bit with match number 5. Hey everybody, this is Dust back for round number 5. This will be an interesting situation going into round 5 here. So at this point, I'm kind of continuing to play here, both to get more practice in this new format and to kind of see how the London Mulligan rule is kind of affecting things. Like, I mean, if you look here, there's just huge swaths of people that have dropped from the event already. So probably most people under 100 right now, even some of the ones in the middle there, which I find interesting. So kind of hoping to get to 5-3, maybe squeeze out a little bit of value, get our entry fee back, but mostly at this point we are kind of trying to get a little bit more information about this London Mulligan roll and burn here. So next round should be starting any second now. The timers reach 0. Alright, so Sure, opponent good luck. Run up against Shib. Continue editing videos while I'm waiting on my opponent to show up. It's been a not the bestest of starts for us, that's for sure. We played against Tron round 1, which is usually pretty favorable. Unfortunately, due to some issues, we lost because our opponent took their sweet time game 3, but they did eventually find a Thragtusk when they were at 4 life. We were stuck on 1 land, beating them down with some Goblin Guides, and then they Ulamogged us the next turn and kind of took away any ability to play the game. Round 2, our opponent mulliganed to 4, played a Leyline Sanctity on 0. Beyond that, they were a blue-white prison deck with Form of the Dragon as their kill con. Next round, we played against Naya Valakut. That still seems to be a pretty reasonable matchup. And then this past round, we played against Eldrazi, colorless Eldrazi with the new Mulligan rule. So definitely keep this hand. Obviously, one more land than we normally want. Alright, so elves. Not the best hand against elves. Drawing their land doesn't help. At this point, being on the draw and only having 1 interactive spell, I don't think bolting the elf is going to get us very far. Playing all 3 colors, so now we have Heritage Druid too. Last turn, hold up Bolt here to be able to block. Visionary. Elvish Visionary. Alright. Play out this Lava Spike here. Right now, 7 points of burn in hand. Sure. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So do I helix this and chomp on something, or do I... Pass turn. So what does Court of Calling for 3 signal here? We could be dead, I guess? Swift Spear here was not a good draw. Still thinks this means we're pretty much dead here. I was more afraid of Uzurian to untap and kill us, but looks like Shaman in the Packle pretty close to getting it done. Alright, so elves. Elves are all you need. Searing Bloods, Skull Cracks, Paths, cards that are not great, Boros Charm, card like this. Hand's D, so if we hit a land, we're good. Spend Riftbolt and go. So the White Splash could represent any number of cards in this matchup, something like Blessed Alliance, something like... Sure. It's probably not going to survive this next turn. Does give up some value on the Blaze, but if we're ever going to deploy Eidolon to any meaningful effect, it'll be here. Now lands are good, spells are good, at least for the next draw step or two. Yep, feels like a collected company. Just fine, they get to eat their 2 idiots, we get to path it, continue on our merry way. So it doesn't really appear that mana is their particular issue. It just appears that it's down to 5. It goes to 3. And concedes. Alright, so once again, same game plan. Eidolon, not as good on the draw, but still reasonable. Can't keep the 4-lander. Also can't keep the... back, Lava Spike, and Path, I guess. Alright, I mean, that's about as effective as a bolt in this case. That's why they did it. No attacks. No blocks means you have a 1-drop to play. Yep, Llanowar Elves. Which means probably either... Yep, Dwyne's Elite, which makes our creatures very ineffective. Which makes this a lot harder of a game. Probably should have gone after Nettle Sentinel here. Suppose we should have aimed some of these to our opponent's face, but just keeping the Elf Dex creatures under control is usually our best bet. Especially when they have Shaman in the pack in their deck. That's just kind of how this Modern Challenge is going, hadn't it? Alright, moving on. Yeah, we'll continue playing the rounds, but feels like I'm beating my head against a wall right now. This has been Dust for Dusted On Game. We'll be back soon with round number 6. Alright, so we're back for match number 6. Our opponent actually showed up like 2 or 3 seconds after I stopped recording, so this is all going to be one large conglomerate. Hardened Scales. Looks like Hardened Scales to me. Boros Charm at the face. I decided to get a little too cute here and concede the game. So, Path to Exiles, Wear Tears, Skull Cracks, get rid of Eidolons, especially on the draw, not only because they'll be bringing in Nature's Claims, but also because a lot of their spells end up being a casting cost of 4, and then 2 more cards to cut here. One Boros Charm, one Skewer the Critics. Looks like our opponent is experiencing some of the frustrations we've been experiencing today. Can we keep this hand? I think yes, but depends on how explosive their draw is. Well, a land is definitely a welcome sight here, so Goblin Guide. Sorcerer's Spyglass. Am I seriously going to get got by a Sorcerer's Spyglass? Wow. I have no words. Sure. So force my opponent to shoot creatures, sure. Yep. Welding Jar is another one of the... Welding Jar. Mox Opal is another one of the cards in their hand. So we ended up winning match number 6 anyway, even though our opponent showed up late. So this has been Dusk for Dustodon Gaming. What were we paired up against? Tat. Alright. So anyways, this has been Dusk for Dustodon Gaming with round number 6. Be back in a bit with round number 7. Hey everybody, this is Dusk for Dustodon Gaming, back for round number 7 here in the Modern Challenge with Boros Burn. Hoping to close it up on a much more positive note than we kind of started out. We started out 0-2 and then I believe 1-3. So right now we're at 2-4. Doing this more for research on the London Mulligan rule than anything else. Hoping the battering we've taken today a little bit will help out other people in terms of like their deck building decisions and such moving forward. So that's what we're mostly working on, because we're pretty clearly out of prize contention here. Just into top 32 and we're like 100 and 1, 2, 3. I mean, I guess we play or keep. I mean, no creatures to speak of. A little bit harder to keep hands without creatures now, just from the nature of the format, but gotta do what we gotta do. So hello to my lava spike. Moving on, shall we? Please play a creature on 1. It's looking like could be Storm, or is it Phoenix? So in a minute, is it Phoenix? Don't really pay attention to the mana base. Do they play Spirebluff Canal? Yeah, they definitely play Spirebluff Canal. So do this and pass. They play a thing. Could be in some trouble. Main deck spells guide. Yuck. Let's hold up all my Searing Blazes. Sure. Looks like they're trying to set up the combo. Pass the turn. Looking to set up the Felidar combo here. So they'll come back in, they'll get to recopy it. Do the thing, make them target Saheeli Rai here. Butcher to 2. If you have another Saheeli, we're dead. On the downsides of playing some of the sorcery speed stuff. Alright, alter the Brood. Interesting. Come on, deck. You've not had a good day all day. Let's hand us the burn spell, please. Office Spike, finally. So what was the combo? There was a combo we ran. A long while back that ran liquid metal coating, altar of the Brood, something else. Not terrible because it answers liquid metal coating and their shatter effects. Also enables us to get rid of Spellskite with one card. And try like this. Stands fine, except our kind of lack of interaction with combo. Alter. Oh, right. Saheeli copy herself. Altar of the Brood mill out. I suppose it's possible we're supposed to deploy Eidolon there. So they're doing a Altar of the Brood liquid metal coating Saheeli Rye backup combo. So they're like Jeskai Saheeli plus Altar of the Brood liquid metal coating Saheeli combo? Kind of insane. So turn 3 lethal. Alright, well, I mean, turn 3 lethal, sometimes it happens, sometimes it's nice. So this has been Dusk for the Stone on Gaming with the finish up of match number 7. We'll be back in a bit with match and round 8, our final go round. This has been Dusk for the Stone on Gaming. Hope everyone has a great day when you see this. Hey everybody, this is Dusk for the Stone on Gaming with our final match here in the 8-round Modern Challenge with Burn. It's been a rough go of it. We've ground through. We're to the final round, so hope for an interesting matchup at this point, because we're definitely not going to win anything. So hopefully our opponent gets back soon. So far it's been an interesting look at the meta, but unfortunately we've been at the bottom of it, so it's really kind of hard to say what the top part of this event is looking like. Played a lot of interesting decks. We played Elves, we've played Hardened Scales, we've played, I think last round we played Saheeli Rye combo deck. It wasn't just Saheeli, it was Saheeli Rye Felidar Guardian, it was Saheeli Rye Altar of the Brood plus liquid metal coating. A very interesting subset of decks. We, a long time ago, played a combo deck that was more of a prison style deck, trying to use that combo to win the game. Kind of milling the opponent out with Altar of the Brood liquid metal coating Saheeli Rye. Basically what ends up happening is you target Saheeli with liquid metal coating. You then copy Saheeli herself ad nauseum because she's now considered an artifact. And then with Altar of the Brood in play, each time a permanent enters the battlefield, your target player gets milled for 1. So we're on the draw here, which kind of sucks, but this is a reasonable hand. 3 lands, 4 spells, plus a Goblin Guide. The Goblin Guide rolling. Goblin Guide should help trigger the Skewer the Critics, as long as it doesn't die. opponent. I just want to get this round done with so we can move on with our lives. We all know either none one of us is playing for anything here. So... a lot of people are of the opinion that Burn's in a rough spot in the meta, and I can't say I disagree, because a lot of the decks that even Burn usually has a reasonable matchup against, like Tron and stuff, like with the new Mulligan rule, if it ends up staying in effect, Burn is... I think Tron benefits from that a whole lot more than Burn, and I think one of the ways Burn consistently beats Tron is sometimes they don't have Tron until 4. I think the fact that they can now get Tron pretty consistently on turn 3 and kind of mold what payoffs they get to a certain degree might make that matchup a little bit rougher. Is it Phoenix? I think, much like Burn, gets a little bit worse with the new rules. The new rules benefit the more inconsistent or more A plus B combo decks, things like Ad Nauseam, things like Tron, theoretically Garroyo's Vengeance decks, and it really doesn't benefit quite as much the critical mass decks like Storm, decks like Burn, decks like Is It Phoenix, even to a certain extent control decks, etc., etc. Come on, just make your plays and move along, friend. Alright, so looks like Affinity. Could be War Prison, I guess. Nope, Affinity. Alright. Yeah, that seems like a good start, right? And... there's a small part of me that's tempted to concede this game simply because by the time we kill this Overseer, the damage will kind of have been done. Drum doesn't really benefit their strategy too terribly much here. It looks like a traditional Affinity, or I guess it's Experimental Frenzy Affinity now. Yep, that's going to be a problem. Springleaf Drum. Kind of sucks we're not going to get the life gain off of this. So we'll just sack to Ravager. We're drawing a few too many lands here. Wow. Not exactly the move I expected there. Don't think we're winning the race either way. Moving on, shall we? So, 2 paths, 2 wear tears, 2 skull cracks, cut, Boros charms, got 1 skewer, 1 eidolon here. Yep, I mean, this is the kind of hand we kind of sign up for here. Could mulligan to 6 easily here, but 1 lander with 3 spells is pretty decent. Debating their mulligans. Signal pest. Alright. Stubborn denial, good one to know about. Due to the wonderfulness that is our 1 land hand, may just be enough to get us here. Here come the knuckleheads. Ornithopter. We had one more mana we could possibly induce a play long enough to survive. Yep, got them to 2, but then we're just dead, so. Alright, anyways, wrap up on our 3 and 5 performance here in the Modern Classic. Kind of frustrating overall, but no reason to drop, I guess, but finishing middle of the pack by going 8 rounds, hardly convincing here. We played against 2 variants of Affinity. We played against Hardened Scales and regular Affinity, played against Elves, played against Tron, played against Titan Shift, Saheeli combo, a couple other random decks. So, takeaway, we got a little bit unlucky in some of the matchups. Some of it is certain decks are getting more consistent with their hands. 1 or 2 play lines probably weren't the best against specifically the Affinity list, or the Affinity last game against Affinity, and the 3rd game against Elves. I think there might have been some different play lines we could have taken despite our hand problems in those games. So maybe there's a different line we could have taken in those 2 games to at least have had a shot in 2 other matches. But overall, pretty rough go of things. That will be all for the day. I want to thank everyone for hanging out. If you've been watching this whole video, I'm going to try to convert all the videos into one long file. So it's been one of the conversations that people have made about how they want longer files as opposed to single match things. So I'm going to try to jam all the matches together, see how that goes. But this has been Dust for Dustin on Gaming with the Modern Challenge with Burn here, with testing the London Mulligan rule and Burn on April 13th, 2019. This has been Dust for Dustin on Gaming. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.